Hello everybody, I'm going to shoot another video. I know the one I shot at the airport last night, very windy. I'm kind of catching up on my messages this morning. Little bit groggy. I got my time change, which is advantageous really for me. Gives me 2 extra hours on the Alberta side, but nonetheless I switched from night shift to day shift, so I'm a little bit tired and stressed out from the airport. It was exactly as I thought it was going to be. When you look at the government stats of immigration and what they're doing, what they've been doing through the entire pandemic, which I'm going to explain to everybody very, very clearly because people aren't getting it. And I know a lot of my loyal followers, a lot of Albertans understand because, of course, you've all been participating with me with this for over a year now and what I'm actually doing. So your government elect, and it's across multiple parties. We got 4 different premiers and other posts I make. These are specific premiers to specific airports tied to immigration. Quebec has a backdoor to immigration. BC utilizes that. They've been utilizing that since the 1960s, okay? It's why all the properties in Vancouver, Greater Vancouver, are astronomical in price. It's why it's so hard to find a decent place to live in places like Toronto and many of the major municipalities. Your government is doing this. They've been doing this for a very long time. All the politicians make a lot of money. All they have to do is get elected, fit in, follow the protocol that was expanded absolutely 4 times the program size by Stephen Harper. Now Justin Trudeau has almost doubled that, meaning 8 times more than any politician before him, okay? All the premiers involved in this, which is the provinces signed on and involved. Alberta right now is number one on the list. Jason Kenney, underneath Stephen Harper, absolutely was the minister in charge of expanding that immigration program. Canada is not settled, Canadians. It's not settled, not even close. Most of the land in Canada sits unattainable to anyone. First Nations don't get to utilize it in any real meaningful way. Canadians don't get to utilize it in any meaningful way. 79% of Canada. Only 11% is available to you, the Canadian citizens. Millions of you, tens of millions. It gets worse when you go into provinces like Quebec, especially Ontario, because of the population density, that forced into the city system that they're building through massive immigration. It is worse, twice as bad as China. Canada, physically, is twice as bad as China. You have half the land available to you. The West might be a little bit better, but still nowhere near what China is. And China is better in availability than Canada is. So when you look at communism and crown, which is really better? And I don't like communism. We all talk about communism. We all say, oh, it's communism, it's communism. No, it's crown, everybody. It's crown. It's always been here. It's a problem with constitutional monarchies. It's why they've mostly been abolished worldwide. Only very few countries have that system left. And you live in it. You live in a country that is first in NWO. The Great Reset, the globalist socialist reset. Pick your policy bags. This left and right system we have is led none other than by absolutely all your political parties. I chase it, trace it over and over. Economically, Canada leads. Your politicians, unrestricted constitutionally, lead in this area. The 5 powers will exploit countries like Canada. Billionaires will exploit countries like Canada. The worst countries in the world will exploit countries like Canada because the door is wide open. Your politicians get to decide what rights you have. in charter, in civil, and some provinces like Ontario have absolutely hijacked all of your international laws on human rights. Hijack them all. No lawyer can take you to the real court, International Criminal Court. Which brings me to this post now. Now they see lots of people logged on. I went out of Pearson Airport last night, Toronto, to fly back to Edmonton. It's my daughter's birthday today. My mom is graciously driving me there right now beside me. What I'm working on is the fact that your government, all political parties, all of them, all the mainstream parties elected, are absolutely exploiting freedom of movement. One of an international law on a human right. It's also a civil right of all of you Canadians. It's also your charter right, freedom of movement. You have a whole bunch, and you have a whole bunch of civil rights, and you have overlap into international law on human rights. Religion is covered in every single category, internationally as well too. Your politicians said lock down all the churches, even ban religious practice, put fences around them, take every business, shut them down. It's a civil right. Administer civil penalty, administer the highest value possible so that Canadians will be forced to give up their charter of rights and freedoms that the government wants to take from you, because they can. Now, there is a court in this world that will take this on. Did you know that most countries in the world did not practice freedom of movement at all during the COVID pandemic? Most of the big five didn't. None of them did. UK did participate over Hong Kong, which a ton of variants came in. We have queue jumping in Canada, meaning people from Hong Kong can absolutely jump queue and get first priority to come to Canada, can be made permanent residents in China and come to Canada as citizens. And none of you know any better. That's reality. I was at the airport last night. Many people from India, China, my flight from one, and all those, maybe they went through a lockdown process. Maybe they had 2 weeks in a hotel and then they were switched over. But who's to say who has what or got infected with what? People could have the sniffles, could get past their inspections, get on a plane. Obviously it's happening because there's variants all over the country. And they're absolutely tied to those 4 international airports where all the international travelers and immigrants come from who are made to be permanent residents. You see the fraud here, right? There's a fraud being committed by Justin Trudeau, by absolutely Jason Kenney, who is the one who created it under Stephen Harper. Justin Trudeau doubled it. Pierre Poilievre wants to expand it even further too. Did you know that? Did you know that, Canadians? This is not about left or right. It's always been, for me, about up and down. There shouldn't be a Black Lives Matter divide, an LGBTQ divide. And I can tell you all this. Civil rights and fighting in a constitutional monarchy have been around forever. Did you know lesbian, gay community and others? Did you know that Jason Kenney, during the AIDS pandemic, you weren't allowed to visit your loved ones either? Did you know that? He took away your civil and human rights to see your loved ones dying in a hospital. You were banned, just like they are with COVID-19 and all of the older generation in ICU. Did you know that this has been done over and over in so many different civil rights in Canadian history? The only time it's ever addressed Canadians, the only time it's ever been addressed in Canada is when the international community mandates Canada. The big five say you change that because we just passed a law, or we're going to put sanctions, embargoes, possibly military intervention, or arrest your politicians. That's the truth. And if you don't think it's true, look around the world. It happens all the time. The biggest chicken shits, and I'm sorry to swear, the biggest chicken shits, that's my saying, is your politicians when it comes to the international community. They love to be unaccountable to all of you. but they're deathly afraid of accountability on the world stage. That's reality in international law. Whether COVID's real or not, whether I get sick from that plane ride where literally people are sitting beside me in a seat, right in front of me in a seat, and right behind me in a seat. I was forced to take off an absolute barrier from my eyes, my whole face seal, and my respiration, completely protected, forced to take it off and go to a cloth mask in a confined space. Shared air with literally probably 50 other people from all over the world. Who knows? I don't know. But if I come down with a sickness over my days off, it's because of the plane rides, not because over the last year and a half, the thousands and thousands of Canadians I've met, hugged, shaked hands, never got sick, always outside, never had any issues. But if I get sick now, it's because of those plane rides, because it's imported that way. Why do you think they call it variants? Variants, a variation of a known disease, they say, a pandemic. They've ruled a pandemic, but your politicians say, that's okay. We'll bring millions in over the next couple of years during COVID pandemic. Don't worry about it. Every other country in the world isn't participating in this, but we're going to lock all of you down, destroy your businesses, make sure you're unemployed, ruin the country, rack up massive debt. And it's because you're not 6 feet apart. It's because you won't wear a cloth mask properly. It's because you don't wash your hands 50 times a day. It's all your fault. But don't worry, we're smart politicians. We're going to import millions from all over the world who don't practice any of that. Not at the airport. They share it, they spray it. Who cares? Don't worry, we got this covered. Just do what we say, even though there's no science to back it up, while we absolutely take freedom of movement internationally and raise it through the roof higher than any country in the world. That's normal because I'm a politician. Somehow there's no science to back up what I'm doing when we know a confined space like an airplane, let alone 20 hours on an airplane. Some airplane rides in transfers are like that. Sharing the air for literally that long from all over the various countries of the world, and then coming here and crop dusting all of you. And then they're saying, hear me out, Canadians, they're saying it's your fault the disease is spreading, but they're the ones who are actually spreading it if you believe in the pandemic. And they do. So that means they're liable for all the suicides, all the job loss, anyone who's gone in for surgeries, who's been delayed, cancer treatments, every Canadian who's died over COVID in Canada. The politicians that I've listed in this video and the other two are absolutely responsible. They didn't want to lock the country down internationally because they wanted to fill their back pockets. They chose this right and freedom that the world of pandemic countries said, don't do it. And they did it per person per capita higher than anywhere else in the world. My province, Alberta, done higher than any other province in Canada by none other than Jason Kenney through his best friend, Justin Trudeau. Quebec, Francois Legault, still running rampant the BC backdoor deal to Vancouver. From there, they all fly out to where? Alberta, because hotels are paid. Alberta saw the most because of Jason Kenney and his UCP. Justin Trudeau, most record immigration during the pandemic. Record for Canada, but record immigration absolute during the pandemic. Do you see the pitfall here? Do you see the absolute fraud and scam? How can they justify any lockdowns whatsoever or any restrictions of any of your rights and freedoms? This is my fight. This is the one singular fight I'm doing with ICC. This is the great works I'm doing. I'm not a lawyer. They can't disbar me. I'm in on May 12th to speak with that community of the ICC. And if all works out well, Pastor Coates is going to be the first going to the ICC. That's my plan. Freedom of movement, our government in Canada, plus those corrupt premiers, versus freedom of movement or freedom of religion? Were they allowed to crush a human right, freedom of movement, that's backed up in international law, signed by every country in the world? You can read it, 1945 Charter of Human Rights. Jason Kenney, Justin Trudeau, Francois Legault, John Horgan. There's one more there. I missed it, but that's okay. Those five are absolutely going to have to face justice, and I say they should. Because they said they could take away your human rights and exploit freedom of movement, which is not a human right. Did you know that? Not absolute. It's in the 1948 Declaration of Human Rights, but not absolutely bound by Russia. One country remains. But in the Charter, freedom of religion is absolutely bound to every nation of the world. And we have Canadian politicians saying, no, we're going to take that human right away. And at the same time, we're going to have the most freedom of movement in the entire world to Canada. And we're going to kill as many Canadians through genocide as humanly possible. Your older family members, those who couldn't work or those who lost a business, who committed suicide, and all those who got infected and died. That's reality. That's your Canada, and that's what we have to do here. Thank you, everybody. That's my video. I'm almost home. I got to do a whole bunch of work around my mobile home here. It's been 2 months, so thank you. Bye now.